We're moving on to 1.5, and we're going to deal with fractional exponents. So you've actually been doing fractional exponents for a long time, you just don't realize it. If I had the number 16 and I took the square root, why do we call it the square root? Because we're asking what number to the second equals 16. What number squared is 16? So there's really a little 2 inside there that we don't write because we're lazy. And there's also a little 1 right here that we don't write because we're lazy. So in exponent form, the square root of 16 is really just 16 raised to the exponent goes on the top of the fraction, and the radical goes on the bottom of the fraction. 16 to the 1/2. So if I did the square root of 16, of course the answer is going to be 4. But if I did 16 raised, and I'm going to put parentheses around the 1/2, then I get 4 also. Okay, so what if I wanted to do the third root of 125? What is that in fraction form? Would be 125, and then the exponent here is a 1, and the radical is a 3, so it would be 1/3. So 125 raised to the 1/3. Oh, I don't have to put parentheses around it because my calculator treats them as a one number, but it's a good idea to put that fraction in parentheses if you're not sure if your calculator does that or not. We get 5. Okay, now things get a little bit more complicated with fractional exponents, and anytime you have a negative in your base, you need to put that base in parentheses. So if I had -8 and I was doing the fourth root, that is going to be parenthesis -8 to the 1/4. And just to be careful, I would just put parentheses around any negative and parentheses around any fraction, and then you'll never mess it up. Sometimes you can get away with not putting them, but it's easier just to always put the parentheses, and then you'll always get it right. So, oh, this isn't actually going to work. It's going to create an I. So if I do parenthesis -8, and I raise it to the 1/4, I'm going to get error because it's actually an I. So if I did the third root of -9, that does not create I's because negative times negative times negative is negative. So if this number is even, then you're going to get I's when you do the root, which I don't think is going to happen on this worksheet. But if the number in the root is odd, then it will work. So parenthesis -9, actually let's not do 9, let's do 27. -27 raised to the 1/3, and I get -3. -3 times -3 is 9, times -3 is -27. So in the first couple problems it says, rewrite the expression in rational exponent form, which you're just going to go from this step to this step. What if I told you I had 18 to the 1/5? What is that in radical form? Well, the 5 goes here, and then it's 18 to the 1st, and I don't need to write the 1 there if I don't want to. Okay? So then it says, if I had, does it give you the equation? So it's asking for the nth root of a, and it says n equals 2 and a equals 64. What is the second root of 64? What times itself is 64? 8. Okay. What if I had the third root of 8? That would be 2. Does that make sense? So it's just saying, what is the third root of 8, or in this case, the square root of 64? Okay. What if I had a cube and the volume of that cube was 27 inches to the third? How big is one side of that cube? How did you get 3? So the third root, so the x to the third is 27. So the third root of 27 is equal to 3. So all of the sides are 3. Okay. Now, it does get more complicated. What if I had the second root of, no, let's do it this way. Let's do like that. Nope, sorry. It's not what I want to do. I want to do this. There we go. Well, let's put that in exponent form. 8 raised to what power? Well, this goes on the bottom, it's a 3. And this goes on the top, which is a 2. But what is that really asking? Well, it's asking, can you take the third root of 8? What can 8 be split into 3 equal multiplication numbers? 2. So 8 is 2 times 2 times 2. Oh my, that's a 3. 2. Okay, but our answer contains 2 of those 3. So the answer is 4. Now, if you don't understand that, you can just plug it into your calculator and do 8 raised to the 2/3. And you will get the number 4. But here's what's really happening. You're taking the third root of 8, which is 2, and then you're using 2 of those numbers to create your answer, which is 4. So what if I had the fourth root of 81 squared? Can 81 be split into 4 equal factors? 3. So 81 is made up of 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. How many of those will be in my solution? 2 of them, so the answer is 9. So 81 to the 2/4 should be 9. And I get 9. Okay? But what if I did this? What if I did 125, third root, and 4? Can 125 be split into 3 equal factors? Can. 5. 5 times 5 is 25, times 5 is 125. So 125 is made up of 5 times 5 times 5. How many of those are going to be part of my solution? 4 of them, but I don't have 4 of them. So I write an extra one, and I get 625. Why did this number get bigger when all the other numbers got smaller? Yeah, explain that. So what is it about this that told me my answer is going to get bigger instead of smaller? When the inside is bigger than the outside, your number is going to go up. Because I'm splitting 125 into 3 factors that are equal, And then my answer contains 4 of those factors, so I had to add one on there. Okay, what if I had the third root of 8 to the 5th? Can 8 be split into 3 equal factors? 2's. How many 2's are part of my solution? 5 of them, which is 32. It got bigger. So 8 raised to the 5/3 is 32. Okay. What if I had the third root of 1,000 squared? Can 1,000 be split into 3 equal factors? What are the 3 equal factors that multiply to be, what? It would be 10. So 10 times 10 times 10. How many of those are in my answer? 2 of them. So Derek said the answer is 100. Why did that go down? The inside's not as big as the outside, and if I write this as a fractional exponent, when this number is smaller than 1, your answer is smaller than the number you started with. When that answer is bigger than 1, sorry, when the problem has an exponent that's bigger than 1, your answer will actually get bigger. Okay? All right. So 1.5, we are doing 3 through 28 all. Okay, get to work. Certainly